All right, let's talk about something really cool today, Data Vault. Now, this isn't just another way to store data. It's a completely different philosophy for organizing information, one that allows our systems to adapt and grow right alongside a business instead of breaking under the pressure. So let's dive in and see how it works. I mean, this is the million-dollar question, right? For anyone who's ever built a data system, you know the pain. You spend months, maybe even years, crafting the perfect model. And then the business changes. A new product line, a merger, a different sales process, and your beautiful, elegant system just shatters. Well, this is the exact problem Data Vault was born to solve. To really get why Data Vault was such a game changer, we've got to rewind the clock, back to the 90s and early 2000s. See, back then, the data world was basically in the middle of a civil war, a decade-long battle between two totally different ways of thinking about how to structure information. On one side, you had Ralph Kimball. His approach, the star schema, was all about being simple, fast, and super easy to learn. It was perfect for the reporting tools of the time, so naturally, it got incredibly popular. And on the other side, you had Bill Inman. He argued for something more complex, more robust, a model called third normal form that tried to perfectly mirror reality. But it was hard. It required some really deep thinking. And at the end of the day, simple and easy often wins. But here's the catch. That simplicity that made the Kimball model so popular, it came at a huge price. The very thing that made it great, its rigid, simple structure, was also its greatest weakness. You could almost say it was a model that was designed to break. So, a star schema looks great on a whiteboard. You have this central fact table, maybe your sales data, and then branching off of it are your dimension tables, things like customer, product, and store. It's clean, it's elegant, and business intelligence tools absolutely love it because reporting is so straightforward, as long as reality plays nice. And that's the thing, isn't it? Reality is messy, it's complicated. It doesn't give a hoot about our neat and tidy models. And the moment the business evolves, that simple, perfect star schema starts to crack. The first fatal flaw is how it deals with history, or rather, how it doesn't. A star schema is kind of like a snapshot in time. So what happens when a store gets rebranded? To track that change, you have to add a whole new row for that same store in your dimension. But now your sales data is linking to two different store records, and that clean, simple connection is broken. Your reports start duplicating data, things don't add up, and suddenly you can't trust your numbers anymore. Total disaster. And the second flaw pops up when reality gets just a little more complex. Think about a single sales receipt. That receipt might have, say, 10 different products on it. The receipt itself is a fact, but each one of those 10 lines is also a fact. This kind of fact-of-facts situation just doesn't compute for the rigid star structure. Trying to shoehorn it in shatters the whole model. So, into this mess of breaking models steps a data architect named Dan Linstead. He came along with a totally new approach. He said, forget trying to force reality into a predefined shape. Let's just break reality down into its three most basic, flexible building blocks. The first building block is the hub. You can think of this as the stable noun of your business. It's the who and the what, the core concepts like a customer, a product, or a store. A hub only holds the unique business key. That's it. It's the anchor, the stable rock. Next up, we have the link. And if the hub is the noun, the link is the verb. It's the action, the relationship that connects those nouns together. A customer purchases a product. A company ships an order. The link just records how these things interact. And finally, we've got the satellite. And you guessed it, this is the adjective. This is all the descriptive stuff, the context, the details that change over time. A customer's address, a product's price, the purchase amount. All of that descriptive data lives in a satellite, perfectly tracked with a timestamp. So we have our three building blocks: hubs, links, and satellites. Nouns, verbs, and adjectives. Now we get to see the real magic happen. This is how we can finally build models that don't break when things change. They just grow. Let's see it in action. So check this out. We've got our hubs for company, product, and customer. They're connected by links. A company produces a product, and a sale link connects that product to a customer. All the nitty-gritty details like addresses and prices are tucked away in their own satellites. It's clean, it's logical, it makes sense. Okay, but now management walks in. They've got a new challenge for us. We now need to track corporate ownership. Which companies own other companies? Now, in the old star schema world, this is a 5-alarm fire. You're looking at a massive redesign of your core tables, breaking every single report that touches them. It's a nightmare. But with Data Vault, watch this. The solution is unbelievably simple. We don't have to break a thing. We just add a new owns link and connect the company hub right back to itself. One end of the link is the owner company, the other end is the company that's owned. And that's it. The original model is completely untouched. It just grew a new branch. You know, this quote from Nikolai Golov just nails it. It says, "The model can grow like a mushroom mycelium, spreading out in new directions without ever affecting the parts that were already there." That's the whole idea. It's a system that's built to evolve. All right, let's take this one level deeper, because there's an even more powerful way to think about this. It's a subtle shift, but it makes a huge difference. And it all comes down to a simple but profound question. Think about it for a second. When a customer buys something from a store, is that purchase just a verb, an action connecting a customer and a product? Or is the purchase itself a tangible noun, a real thing with its own identity? So you've got two ways to model this. You could make the purchase a simple link, a verb connecting the other hubs, and that works. But a much more robust and powerful way is to model it as its own hub, as a noun. Why? Well, what is a purchase in the real world? It's a receipt. And that receipt has its own unique identifier, right? A receipt number. By making a receipt a core concept, a hub, we unlock a massive efficiency gain. And the benefit of thinking this way is staggering. We're talking about massively parallel data loading. You can now load all of your data in two simple waves. First, you load all of your hubs, your customers, your products, your stores, your receipts, all at the exact same time because they have zero dependencies on each other. Then, in a second wave, you load all the links and satellites that connect and describe them. It is ridiculously fast and incredibly scalable. So, at the end of the day, Data Vault is really more than just a modeling technique. It's a philosophy that embraces change instead of fighting it. It lets our data systems evolve as organically as the businesses they're meant to describe. And that leaves us with a pretty fascinating question to think about. If our data models are no longer rigid and brittle, if they can finally grow and adapt like living things, what new, complex questions will we finally be able to answer?